Welcome to IAS project. In our previous videos, we have been talking about Indus Civilization. Now, it is important for us to understand what civilization technically means. So, let's talk about what civilization is. Civilization word has its origins in Latin, where civis means citizen and civitas basically means city. So, the word civilization is mainly associated with city and citizen. If we want to give a common man definition for civilization, then it would be something like this. Civilization usually refers to a highly developed culture. So all cultures cannot be considered as civilization. Only those cultures that are highly developed can be considered as civilization. However, the term highly developed is very subjective. That is why when you want to scientifically define the word civilization, then you need to use certain parameters. Now, let us study those scientific criteria that are required to say whether a culture is a civilization or not. So, civilization is basically any society or culture if it satisfies these elements. The first element here is urbanization, which means that many people in that culture should be living in cities. So, therefore, ideally, a purely rural culture should not be called as civilization. Another important element for civilization is a writing system. Writing system means there should be a language and there should also be a script for that language. So without script, usually you cannot call a culture as a civilization. Please note, I am often using the word usually here. I will tell you why very soon. Another important element for any culture to be called civilization is there should be a government. The next two elements are production of surplus food and division of labor. We must understand that there is a very close relation between these two elements. Let's try to understand the meaning of these elements first. Production of surplus food means people should be producing food not only for themselves but excess food that can feed other people also. So because of this surplus food or excess food the farmer is producing, some other people need not do agriculture. I hope the point I am making is clear. The production of surplus food in a society means that only some people will practice agriculture. And those few people will grow food grains for all the remaining people also. So whoever the remaining people are there, they need not do agriculture anymore. Then what will those people do? They will divide labor such that they will be involved in other occupations. For example, some people will practice pottery. Some others may practice carpentry. Or they may do activities like metal work or brick making and other activities. So basically all these are possible only because there is surplus food within the society. So few farmers are producing food for all these other people also. That is why all these other people are not engaged in agriculture but they are doing other works which are benefiting the entire society. And when people practice different occupations, we call it as division of labor. Division of labor is mainly based on the principle of specialization of labor. Please try to understand these terms because these terms are very important in other subjects like economy also. Specialization of labor basically means that people will do those occupations where they are specialized at. For example, a potter's specialization is in making pottery. A potter's specialization is not in carpentry, metalwork, brick making or any other activities. That is why he is the most efficient when he is doing pots. For this reason, he will start making pots only. Similarly with carpentry also. Carpenters specialize in carpentry, that is why they do carpentry. A carpenter may not be a good potter. So in this way, people in the society start to specialize in different areas of work or in different occupations. And through that specialization of labor or specialization of occupations, they create a division of labor. And all this is possible only because some farmers are producing surplus food which is going to feed the entire society, not just those farmers themselves. So I hope you have understood the relation between production of surplus food and division of labor. So if any culture has all these 5 elements, then we can call that culture as a civilization. So a civilization usually has urbanization, that is cities. It has also developed a script. Moreover, it has government and it produces surplus food and it has a division of labor which is based on specialization of labor. However, we must note that all cultures need not satisfy every point that is given here. Let's say a culture is not living in cities or has not developed a writing system, even then it can be called as a civilization. Let me give you an example. We know that during pre-Harappan phase culture, people were mainly living in villages. Therefore, we can say that pre-Harappan phase was not urbanized, meaning the pre-Harappan people were not living in cities. Moreover, we also know that the writing system in Indus civilization mainly developed in mature Harappan phase. That is why during pre-Harappan phase, the writing system or script was not developed. Even then, we call the entire Harappan culture as Harappan civilization. So when we call the entire Harappan culture as Harappan civilization, it will also include pre-Harappan phase as well as later Harappan phase. So even though we have defined all these terms technically, you must appreciate that there is some scope for subjectivity also. But in an ideal case, all these points should be satisfied by a society or a culture for that society or a culture to be called as a civilization. If you like this video, please subscribe. You can download this presentation on our Telegram channel. The name of the channel is IAS Project. The link for this channel is given in the description below. Thank you.